You're listening to Love, Life and Liquor, a Drinking Partners podcast. If you like beer, food, sex, and talking about badass kids, then this is the podcast you've been waiting for. Now, here are your peoples, Mareshah and Dom.
Welcome to the first episode of the year of Love, Life, and Liquor. I'm Dom.
And I'm Mareshah.
Hey, it's
Yay.
It's 2024. I got to clear up some things first. Way back, I don't even remember what month this was, probably like September, we talked about artichokes. Right? It was a long ass time ago, but I had to wrap it up. This 2023 business, I can't go into 2024 without clearing up some business. So, did you know that 45% of people on the little poll that we had actually appreciate artichokes?
Good people.
They like artichokes. I absolutely hate them. They're nasty.
They're good.
But, bang, it seems like the majority of the folks, they're down with the chokes.
And I haven't made them since then,
But I'm pretty sure you will.
I'll make it for me.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so 2024, is this a new year, new you? Is this one of those years? Year of the Mamba. Last year was a Jordan year. This is a Kobe year.
I think so.
This is a new year,
maybe
new
not
you?
a new me, elevated me.
Okay.
Maybe.
Elevated.
Yeah.
So you just building on
me, but
what you had going on
better.
last year.
Like
okay.
Mareshah plus. Yeah.
So what does that mean? Just give me something quick on what that that means for you, because we know that you're working on your business, right? Mm-hmm. So is that more along those lines, or is this like fitness? Like, what is this?
I think it's everything.
Okay.
I might have talked about this before, but I feel like 1,000 years ago, when Oprah was on and Oprah turned 40 and she had this big birthday party.
That was a grip ago.
Yeah, because she just turned like 69. And she was talking about turning 40 and how you just, and everybody's talking about like, oh, when you get in your 40s, you just feel like this, like you're so sure of yourself and this and that.
I feel old as hell.
And so I feel like I'm getting, now that I'm like in my 40s, not like when you turn 40, but like now I'm in them.
Right.
I'm like, I'm into that. You see my little social media thing I did. And I was like, no. You
got to do things a little differently. You got to step outside of the box and, change it up just a little bit. Okay, I get it. I myself, I'm not doing shit.
Yeah. I'm like, I got a long time left here, but I don't have time to be doing stuff that I don't want to do with people I don't want to do it with.
Most definitely.
So I was like, yeah.
And that kind of feeds into what it is that we're going to be talking about today, because we're going to be talking about expectations in relationships. Not necessarily, relationships just with your spouse or your significant other, but just relationships with, people in general, because you know how I am. I don't like people. If they sound crazy, I cut them off. If they say even one thing that sounds crazy about you or the kids, I cut them off. And it's life. You don't get do-overs with me.
He's a surgeon.
It's a wrap. I'm cutting them. So we have quite a few things. We're going to talk about the ultimate kitchen pass. We got, we'll talk a little bit about Katt Williams, and what you got on your bingo card for 2024. You know about the bingo card? Bingo card, the idea of the bingo card. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. But first, we're going to get into one of your favorite things to do. Am I the asshole?
You're an asshole. Asshole.
All right. So the first one we have, Am I the asshole? We like the title of this. It's pretty generic. Mo money, mo problems. Jack has a friend named Rachel, whom he's known for years, right? She's always been financially irresponsible, often living beyond her means and frequently asking for loans that she struggles to repay. Recently, Rachel reached out to Jack asking for a substantial amount of money to cover her rent. She assured him that she'd pay him back in a month when she receives her next paycheck. However, based on past experiences, he doubted her ability to repay the loan. He lent her money in the past, and she's either delayed payments or made excuses when it came time to reimburse. So this time, he decided to be firm and declined her request politely, said, "Nah, I'm good. I can't afford to give you money at the moment." Old girl didn't take it well, and she accused him of being selfish and unsupportive in her time of need. She argued that he needs to help her and that he was choosing pretty much not to care about her situation. So now the problem is now they have mutual friends, and now the friends are saying, you're kind of a jerk and you should have helped this woman in her time of need because she needs to pay her rent. So based off that information, do you think that old boy's an asshole?
No.
Why? That's it?
That's it. He's not. He's not responsible for her. And he said he lent her money before, right?
Yeah.
And she didn't pay it back. She's financially irresponsible. So he knows he's not going to get the money back. Even though he might be doing better than her financially, that doesn't mean he has enough money to pay his rent and somebody else's rent.
But am I not my brother's keeper?
You are, but she's probably asked him for money.
I mean, it says
before.
that. It says that she's asked for money from dude before, and it just so happens that, she always ends up paying late.
She's the a-hole because she's abusing that relationship.
I mean, I agree.
And the other friends, why y'all ain't pay her rent?
Have you ever had issues with people? First off, do you have or do you set expectations when it comes to lending people money?
I don't lend people money. I give people money if I got it.
That's just what it is.
And I give it to you.
You can just have it.
It's gone.
Yeah.
If you pay me back, that's great. But I don't even say pay me back or whatever.
Yeah.
If I can give it to you, I can give it to you because plenty of relationships are ruined.
Because of money. You're right.
So if I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to give it to you. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
If I can't give it to you, sorry. Or if I don't want to, I've given money to people before. And then it's like, you ask me again and you ask me again. Okay, I'm not your mom.
I don't want to.
I'm not going to give you an allowance.
Because especially, how we do, there'll be that one dude and be like, well, fine, take your little funky ass. Why my money got to be funky? Because I'm asking for it back.
Right. But it's like now if you cutting into my daycare money, like I can't pay my daycare because I'm keep giving you money. That's not okay. You got to figure out something. I can help you figure out something.
Right.
What about the other friends? Like, why don't y'all pull y'all money together?
Nobody ever wants to do that, though. I will say I had an experience, and this was crazy to me because this individual wasn't exactly my friend, but I was in the military. He was going through some problems, and he was like, "Hey, Sergeant D, can I borrow a couple dollars until payday?" And I was like, "All right, man. I understand that." Sometimes times are tough. I'll slide you a couple dollars. I'm doing a little better than you. Boom. Here it is. So
I think I know what you're talking about.
This money, right? I didn't expect to get the money back, even though my man said he was going to pay me back. I just kind of left it alone like, whatever. A week goes by. People start coming to me saying, hey, I lent so-and-so some money. And they said they was going to pay me back, and they never gave me back their money. This was like 3 or 4 people. And I was like, how much money did you give them? Because I knew how much I gave them. And they was giving this kid like hundreds of dollars.
I remember.
I'm like, so this motherfucker's just running around.
And you're here smoking cigarettes and going on dates?
You smoking cigarettes, you going on dates, you know what I mean? So then it gets to that point where, now I feel like I gotta be my dad, like when he was like, hey, my man, I need that phone money. What's the deal? Are you gonna give, so-and-so and the rest of the crew they money back? Oh, I got them. I'm gonna get them today. You gonna get all of them back today? Because you're gonna have a big no pay due. You gonna have no check, no dates, no nothing. You eating oatmeal and beef jerky because you got to pay all these people back. But no, he didn't pay those people back.
See, I think the only time I might ask for my money back, like he didn't have it. But I remember there was another airman at another base who asked somebody to borrow money. They were in a bind.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
And I think they were voicing, I'm in a bind,
Yeah.
Somebody was like, I'm going to give you this. And then they went to an amusement park.
You crazy. They took the person's money. But then again, can you really?
No, listen. I'm not one of those people that's like, if you are having assistance or whatever, you shouldn't have nice things because everybody deserves nice things. Everybody.
Yeah.
We don't work just to pay our bills and die. Like, you want to be able to enjoy yourself sometime. But if you're in that much of a bind,
you shouldn't be getting on roller coasters eating funnel cakes and shit.
This place was not close. Like, you had to travel, and this person had a family. And they took a trip to go to this place. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so that was a substantial amount of money.
Yeah. It's not like us going down to Fiesta, Texas.
Yeah.
You're driving hours.
So my man funded his whole family.
Y'all having to spend a night at least.
No. That's crazy.
So in that case, I'd be like, you know what? No, give me that money back because you don't need it.
Yeah.
You making bad decisions.
I understand you want to make memories with your family, but you may need to save up a little bit more.
Go later.
I'm with you. Okay. Well, case closed. There's that. This next one is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know why my man would even ask. All right. So this one is called The Ultimate Kitchen Pass. A man has admitted to feeling angry and ashamed after his dying wife asked for a hall pass to sleep with an attractive ex just one more time. The man said the request made him feel betrayed and inadequate, but he also felt like he owed it to his wife to put her bucket list wish before his ego. So he says, she sat me down and told me that one of the last things she wanted to do was have sex with the previous partner of hers. I, of course, was shocked when I asked why. Basically, she thinks that her most physically compatible, satisfying love was with this dude. And now he feels he's put in a position where he has to say yes because she is dying. He added that the condition meant that she would decline rapidly and likely needed the use of a wheelchair within a few months. So he knows what he wanted to say, but he doesn't know if it's right. He's hurt, obviously, that she wants to have sex with an ex that apparently was so good that she needs to do it once before she died. So,
I wish. I'd be like, yeah, you can do it. We can also get a divorce. Like, if you up to having sex with somebody, like you're dying, and that's what you're.
But you know what? I'm pretty sure once people get to a certain.
So if you got enough energy to go have the best sex of your life, you have enough energy to get a divorce. You have enough energy to go ahead, knock yourself out. You don't want to be with me? That's fine.
I don't unplug your machine.
I'm just, mate. I don't know.
Like the audacity.
I mean, I know it's a no.
Right.
It's a hard no.
But the thing that kills me is the fact that in the vow it says till death do you part, right? But the whole thing is that he actually submitted this for others to respond to, and he says
like he actually considered it.
Right. And he's saying, you know, this is my dying wife's request. Nah, I might just have to look in your eyes real slow and pull that plug as it beep, and just walk out. Turn off the lights on my way out like I'm clocking out from work. What happened? I don't know.
What if you find out she's not really terminal? She just said that so that she could go have sex with her
dirty
ex.
bitch.
And then she's like, oh my gosh, like the doctors found a cure or whatever.
You know what though? If that's the case, then she probably was already doing this mess before she ended up in this situation.
Because I feel like there's so many other things besides sex in life that if I was about to die, I feel like I'd be concerned about. I don't know if they have kids, but I'd be thinking about them. I'd be thinking about parents. I'd be thinking about us. Like,
yeah,
she don't care about the memories that they're gonna make. Like, she don't care about leaving her husband.
Clearly, dude is super whack for her to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. You know, I can count all of the ones in my head, and you're not one of them, sir. And I'm gonna go ahead and bypass yours. You know, it had to
But
be.
why isn't she with him?
I don't. As a woman, why don't you tell me? As a woman, in your point of view, you just said that, you know, the sex may not be absolutely everything in a relationship, but there's other things that dude does that are amazing.
The husband?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've been showing you those posts in that group. They always say the best sex is attached to like the most toxic men. The guys with the backpacks.
Yeah. Homosexuals? They gotta F their way into a home. They need some place to stay.
So that's probably why she's not with him now. But she's forgetting that in her illness.
He's potentially a toxic dude.
Yeah, there's some reason why they're not together.
Well, she getting ready to die, so she's like, I'll take the toxic D one more time. Toxic D one more time.
But I mean, there's a reason why they are not together. Yeah. Why she ended up marrying
that's true.
Somebody else.
So one of the users
She's rude.
Is that the word for it? Rude?
It's very rude. She's a Rudy.
One of the people said, I wouldn't even go to her funeral if my wife asked me that.
I probably wouldn't feel like it either. Like, I'd be crushed. I'd be like, our whole marriage was a sham.
And another dude said she needs to go ahead and just contact Make-A-Wish. See if they can make that happen for her. I don't know. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little poll up. Would you allow your spouse or your significant other one last dying wish that was this extreme? Would you let them go ahead and do that? Would you let them go ahead and get their back blown out before they enter the pearly gates?
God don't want that for you.
Yeah, what do you say when you get up there?
Finally get to see heaven. Hey, what's heaven like?
What you mean?
Heaven, what's it like?
Ain't you the one that tried to sleep with your ex?
Yeah?
You know damn well you going to hell.
I'm gonna say going down. So there's that. No, my man he's not an asshole.
No.
I hear dudes talk about it all the time. I don't know how it is with women, but you know, dudes typically like to enter the new year with a clean slate, meaning I might have to dump you. You know what I mean?
I was like, clean slate.
Yeah, clean slate. I may have to dump you. Usually they come at 2 points in the year, right?
Valentine's and Christmas. Should it just stay single from Christmas?
That's it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, boom. You know, I have to dump you before Christmas, so I don't have to buy you shit. Or I dump you before Valentine's Day, so I don't have to buy you shit. So as we start talking about relationships, these are just some tips. Not necessarily a top 5, but just a list of tips of how you know that the relationship is pretty much over. So if this is the type of things that you see, because we're already in January, that means that it's coming. Because February and Valentine's Day is on the horizon.
So wait, so they just stay from Christmas to Valentine's Day?
I think dudes just...
Because if it's Christmas, it's the end of December. There's no point in getting somebody.
I mean that's true.
And then breaking up.
I think those are kind of just excuses, you know.
So if you didn't get to do it at Christmas, then you go ahead and do it at Valentine's.
Then you go ahead and do it at Valentine's Day. Yeah, pick one or the other, or before her birthday. I'm not gonna lie, I did that.
I was gonna say, did you ever do that?
I did. No. Okay, let me back on up. It's not. I didn't do it on purpose. It just so happened to fall into that window, and I necessarily didn't catch it until it was pointed out to me, and I was like, ugh, made it look even worse. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't do that on purpose. All right. So just a couple tips, not necessarily in any specific order, but number 1, we got you're not acting yourself. So one of the best ways to figure out if your relationship isn't working isn't to look at your partner, but to look at yourself. So are you behaving like your normal self, or are you acting crazy and emotional? Are you scared or of what you say around your partner? Have you ever been in a relationship like that? Not necessarily that you were scared to say something around your partner, but you weren't acting like yourself.
I mean, I think I have, but not because, well, we just probably should have never been together. So
yeah,
I don't know if it's because the relationship was fizzling out. It just shouldn't have started.
You said it shouldn't have started?
Yeah.
Because I definitely was when I was with an individual where their actions clearly had me acting irrational. I mean, super irrational, like 180 to the point where I was doing what dudes would probably call hoe shit. See, people wouldn't believe it because I'm such a
mild-mannered,
fine, upstanding citizen. But yeah, man, I would just say that there was bats and other weapons and things like that involved. But that was many moons ago. You know what I mean? I would hope that I would never have to be in that position again.
Y'all can see how he's looking at me.
You gotta say it like that. I hope that I would never have to be put in that position again.
Well, I can only control me.
Like Batman.
You have to control you.
And that was you know what I mean? And the bad thing about that is, when a person puts you in a position to where you are off your square, right? And you start acting irrational, like there are, second, third, and fourth order effects. You know what I mean? Because it's not just like it's affecting you, because it ends up affecting everybody else around you. Like, this motherfucker Dom is wildin'. You know what I mean? To the point where I will give you a brief glimpse. I will say that the situation that I was in, it was the most if I were to tell you everything, it's the most out of control stuff that you ever heard in your life, right? So boom. I was in a barbershop, right? So I'm sitting in a chair. Old girl is, my barber was a woman. She was chopping me up. Man, she's giving me the illest fade. Everything's looking good. At this point, she finished my lineup. Now she's starting to hit my mustache. And then in walks a fine gentleman who we had something in common, What do they call it? Eskimo brothers? Eskimo brothers. And I'm talking about, it was a light switch. It looked like a magician.
How did you know?
Oh, because I knew.
Oh.
Because I knew. Just because I knew. It's like a magician, like James Brown, the way the cape, the way that barber cape flew off. Yeah, I was on that man's neck. That's crazy, because that's not how I do. You know what I mean? But it's just the point that I don't take too kindly to disrespect. If it was one of them things where, it happened and I don't know you, that's one thing. But most dudes aren't really fans of disrespect. And yeah, man, I bugged out. I kind of lost it. I was on that ass in the barbershop. I looked fresh, while I was doing it too.
But it seems like this was not an occasional occurrence.
Oh man,
you're
turning into a damn journalist right now. You're asking too many You're asking too many questions. As you can hear in the background. Yes. This podcast is powered by Chardonnay.
Not P, because it could have sounded like that. It's not Chardonnay.
This is Chardonnay.
It's red.
That's what it says. Okay, it says Merlot.
I was like, stop saying that. It's red.
It's powered by Merlot. 2014 Hamilton Estates. I got this from the gas station. Good stuff.
Did you?
Anywho, you said that it doesn't seem like it was a one-time thing.
Where you would meet people who were...
Yeah, man.
You had things in common with.
You're asking too many damn questions. Too many questions.
But what I was saying, do you think maybe they thought it was like okay because she had lots of relationships? So maybe they thought like it has to be
for the streets. So
it has to be okay because they were probably running into each other too.
I mean, that's possible.
So it's like, oh girl, and
it's one of those. She's not necessarily yours. It's just your turn. Damn, that was just the first one. So 2, you're hiding them from your loved ones. Have you ever been with an individual who has hid you from, I don't know, family, friends, things of that nature? One who treated you like that, or you did that to them?
He did it to me. That's when I was like extra stupid. Like when I even think about, I'm like.
So did he do that? So did he hide from family, or did he hide you from friends? And was it because he was with somebody else?
Yes. Well, I didn't know that, but the sequence of events that happened after we broke up.
Yeah.
I say that in quotes because we probably weren't together. Maybe I was with him, but he wasn't with me.
Oh man, you had a Charles Barkley relationship.
But like a month after we broke up, he was married to someone else.
Oh man.
So I'm like, it could happen, I suppose. But then I'm like, now these things make sense. There was one friend of his who I met.
So you were the macaroni and cheese.
And I knew some of his other friends just because we had a mutual activity that we all did.
Oh.
Nothing like that. I'm just trying to protect the innocent and myself, mostly. So I knew some of those people, but there was only one person who he introduced to me that I would not have known without him. One unmutual friend.
Unmutual. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, that was the one that shouldn't have started.
A month after you broke up. See, now I feel like I'm being a damn journalist. A month after you broke up, this man is married. So I guess at that point, you really don't have any relationship. You didn't ask any more questions.
I mean, there really wasn't a lot to ask. it all started to come together.
Damn, so you didn't see none of this?
She did not live there.
Oh, okay. Well, it's easy to do that if the person doesn't live there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so usually the goal of a relationship is to, be with that individual for a while. Did he promise you things?
No. Like looking back, and this is why our kids are 5 and 8, but recently, this has kind of been like my motto. If it's not yes, it's no. If it's true. A maybe, if there's like, with anything, if it's not yes, it's no. I thought if I just was good enough, that I would just like win him over and then he would just change all his ways.
Ew, that's on the list too.
Don't ew me. But like when we were watching that Ready to Love show, and the guy was like, oh, well, I'm too busy or whatever like that. I was like, well, if I'm just like supportive enough and there enough and he sees how great I am, then he will. You know
how motherfuckers are. We've had this conversation before where it's like, if
I was in my 20s also. So
if a person really wants to be with you, they'll find a way to make time. If they always got excuses, chances are they just don't like you. That's just what it is. They don't like you, or you're good enough to get banged out. And then I apologize for the verbiage.
Jeez.
Now she's like, I get it.
Well, that Mareshah doesn't exist anymore.
But
that version of me doesn't exist. So
that is on the list. Number 3, you keep on taking a break. If you keep breaking up, then getting back together again, maybe you need to reassess things. Perhaps each time you think things will get better, but then the same old issues pop up over and over again. I think a lot of people are guilty of this. You know what I mean? Taking a shower and putting on dirty clothes. Like that. That's some old pimp shit. But I've definitely never done that. I think I just wrote out the bullshit. There's no breaks involved.
Maybe one. I'm like, but they've been like a week type of thing. So it's really like you're fighting.
Yeah. Okay, so how about this? Because we've seen this happen recently. It seems like this, I'm gonna say this is a phenomenon, but it seems like it's kind of a cultural norm. People go on breaks, right? So you're with an individual, you go on a break, and then you just do all sorts of dastardly stuff. Your behavior is uncouth. You out here having babies, or you just doing whatever. Do you feel as if that's acceptable? Minus the baby, because, well, even then.
No.
At all, right? So what qualifies as broken up for you where that type of behavior may be acceptable? Not the baby, but just entertaining the idea of somebody else.
You don't have stuff in my house no more.
So
we're not on the same phone plan or nothing like that.
So completely broken ties.
Yes. I feel like a break is like, I just need to not see you right now.
That makes sense. So the next one says you talk about the relationship improving in some hypothetical future. In other words, you're convinced the relationship will be better when. And that kind of lends itself to what it is that you were talking about. You were kind of hoping that my man would change. Pretty sure we've had this conversation as well.
Yeah. Like looking back, I mean, he told me up front.
What did he tell you? That this is what this relationship is going to be?
I mean, not like in those words, but like he said I think he might have said he didn't want to get married. Always known I wanted to be married. So why would you continue a relationship other than that? Right.
I mean, except the real reason why he didn't want to get married is because
he was going to get married. Else. What he meant was like, I don't want to get married.
I'm not getting married to your ass.
It was just things like that. Like he had this weird thing about titles. And I was like, well.
You mean titles like he didn't want to be called your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because he
was already somebody else's fiance.
Yeah. But you can't change the definitions of words. Because he was like, well, a girlfriend is like super serious. Like a girlfriend is like,
yeah, you're
going to marry that person. But I was like,
so what were you?
I feel like that's a fiance.
So were you a friend that was a girl?
I guess so.
Were you? I don't think side piece existed back then. And side pieces sound so grimy now. Was there an equivalent back then? I mean, there was side piece.
This is the other woman.
There was a jump off. What's that song?
Shirley and Barbara.
Yeah. Damn.
When that Kelly Price had a song, it's been around.
Was that a friend of mine? She was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to Kelly Price. That was a good album.
It was. But yeah, looking back, I can't fault him for that because...
Nah, he was dirty.
I mean, he was, but I'm saying he told me what it was in the beginning. Could he have just been like...
Did he tell you? Did he really tell you? He just said, I don't want to get married. And you kind of just, okay. But that was one of those things where you was gonna try to, it's like a hurricane. You just trying to wait that shit out.
I was like, well, maybe.
You was hoping my man was going to change if, depending on the, the longevity of the relationship.
I mean, I didn't think I even wanted to marry him, but.
You said you did not want to marry him.
No.
Okay.
But just to be like, this will never, what's the point?
That's true. You would think ultimately, once people got into a relationship that the end was, I'm supposed to be, married to this individual. Where now it just seems like that's cool. I mean, it is. I mean, if as long as you tell that person up front, like this is what it is, and that's fine. But it seems like a lot of folks aren't really aiming towards, marriage anymore. They're kind of just like, I'm cool with the, relationship that we got going on. And it's not necessarily a relationship where they're dating. It's a relationship where they're, what do kids call it, hunching?
I don't think they call it that anymore. But I will say that's the only relationship that I ever had where it was like never an option.
Never an option? What do you mean, to stay with the dude?
No, that like somebody was like, I never want to get married. Or
okay.
Yeah, like all my other relationships were like.
It was a possibility.
Yeah, like meeting families and all that kind of stuff.
My man was like, nah.
Yeah. He was like, it's no point.
Okay, so one last thing then. Considering that my man was trying to keep you in the dark about everything, what were your dates like? Did you go on real dates? Or was it just like, you can just come over to the spot and that was it? Did y'all actually go out and do things? Or was it always late at night? You can come over and we can, VHS and chill. DVD and eat Cheetos.
It wasn't always late at night, but it was.
Oh,
shut up. It was a lot of. Okay. So he was older than me.
Ew.
Not that much older. Maybe like 5 years.
Okay.
Older.
Yeah. Thought this was, I'm in a bind, Nate.
No. I've never been in one of those. But he was like 5 years older.
Yeah.
So he was closer to 30. He might have been 30. Like during the time we were doing whatever. But I outranked him.
Oh, he was a bum.
So he came in late. But he lived in the dorms.
Oh, yeah. Ew. So you had
but he was old.
You had a whole old ass boyfriend who lived in the dorms. No, ma'am. Your standards were trash. So there was not a lot of. He was a homosexual. See, that's what that was, because you had your own place. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and leave this alone because I already remember what you said about individuals with backpacks. So we're going to go to the next one. This is.
He didn't have a backpack.
Some bullshit. So the last one is you regularly feel disrespected. Sometimes what your partner may be doing to you doesn't feel quite like, verbal abuse. It just doesn't feel good. And dudes, I will say, are big on that. So I will say that not too long ago, I had a homegirl, right?
Oh, I was like,
no, not too long ago, I had a homegirl, and she posted some stuff on Instagram, and it asked you to rank certain, I don't know, like attributes or traits or whatever, from a woman. It had like sex, it had like love, beauty, respect was on there. And it was like 1 through 9, 10, whatever the hell. For most dudes, what would you think the number one would be?
Attribute that they want in a woman?
Yeah. It was like able to cook and clean, able to, please you sexually, and like a whole bunch of other shit.
Respect?
Yeah, it was. I thought you was going to say something else, but most of the dudes on the list, they either picked, you got a bunch of cornballs on the joint who said, she got to be able to, lay it down 5 times a week. But most of them said respect. They took respect over love.
That doesn't surprise me because a lot of these red pill guys think, when I think they think respect, they are thinking control. Subservient. Yes, like control. And I was like, I don't even want to say submissive because you have to be submissive in some, like you have to submit to each other.
Yeah. But I don't think most dudes even understand. Clearly when we listen to these podcasts, I don't think most dudes even understand what that means. You know what I
But
mean?
when they're saying respect, that's what I'm thinking. When a lot of guys are saying respect, also, I guess it depends on the age and stuff for them. But
Yeah.
I think when they're saying that, it's like, well, she needs to do what I say and she needs to dress, how I think she should dress.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do they really mean respect?
No, I think a lot of dudes actually do. For men, respect goes, a long way. To have respect among your peers and other men is one thing, but to have a woman not respect you, in a relationship, I think that's a huge ego blow. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, damn, like she's out here, wilding and disrespecting you, and you supposed to be, the man in a relationship. That's a rough one. I don't think nobody wants to deal with that, but I think as a man, it's kind of turned up, a notch when you have to choose between either love or respect. But I think, it's the same thing with women. No woman wants to be belittled, and we've had this conversation before as well. Because it was kind of the whole reason why we started this podcast is because I'm not gonna say that we had problems communicating. I would just say that I did not communicate as much as she wanted me to in the past, and she felt as if sometimes when she had an issue that I didn't necessarily think it was a big deal, i.e. I was being disrespectful. Nobody wants to be feel disrespected. What the hell is i.e.?
It is Latin for something.
Okay. I think the last one on here was they dip out on you before a major holiday.
I got it.
What is it?
It stands for, it's the Latin for id est, or...
Wait, spell that.
Id, I-D.
I-D.
Est, E-S-T.
What the hell does that mean?
That is. It's Latin for that is.
Is it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Learn something new every day on Love, Life, and Liquor.
It's used to introduce a word or phrase that restates what has been said previously.
Let's go ahead and switch to the next topic. We got a little bit of audio to play for you folks, and we can all have some dialogue about this.
What's up, y'all? Quick story time. So a young lady that I had dealings with, or was dating, whatever you want to categorize it as, was coming over to the crib, right? And so I was feeling a little hungry. So I asked her, I was like, hey, can you, grab me food? I'm hungry and I don't want to leave the crib. She said, oh, sure. If you pay for it, I'll pick it up. So then I asked, wait, do I have to pay for it in order for you to bring me food? She said yes, because if I pay for it, it puts me in my masculine energy. Wait, so we've been dating for a little while and you can't bring me food? $20? Unless I pay for it? And to me, don't get it wrong, I was not mad at all. She still came over. I went and got my own food and everything. But it did make me look at her different. Because to me, that's a character flaw. Because if you only have the capacity to do something for me under the condition that it's reciprocated or that I pay for it, that means it's not genuine, it's not in your heart. And to me, that doesn't work because I'm the opposite. I hold those doors for you on those dates because it's in my heart. I pay for everything when you're with me because it's on my heart. I book your plane ticket because it's in my heart. I am not one to keep score. And so if you can't bring somebody that you've been talking to, dating, a $20 meal because that puts you in your masculine, major red flag. And then I posted about it on my Instagram story. And one young lady was like, well, I would have done the same thing if we're not exclusive. Exclusive? Baby, we're talking about a $20 meal. I didn't ask you to go to the grocery store, cook, fill out my refrigerator. I asked if you could bring me food. Because we ain't got to be exclusive for me to pay for your nails, huh? We ain't got to be exclusive for me to hold all of these doors and bring you flowers. But we got to be exclusive for you to bring me a $20 meal. It's sad, man, and I think that's why we have the dating problems and trouble we have now, because nobody is moving just genuinely. Everybody is keeping score, and this attitude that, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z if he's not doing this for me or she's not doing this for me. And unfortunately, I just don't move like that. I've never had. If you are hungry and I have it, you are fed. Simple. Whether I like you or not. Now, if I like you, it's a bonus. But it's in my heart to be this way. But I would love to hear y'all thoughts on this situation. Ladies, is she justified? Is she right? Fellas, what y'all think?
You can hear my man, talking about a recent, encounter that he had with the young lady. And he was at the house or whatever, and she was supposed to be coming over in there, supposed to spend some time together. And he said, hey, could you bring me some food? And she was like, nah, I can't do that, because if I buy you some food, then that's going to put me in my masculine energy. And he was like, well, it's only $20 and I've done things for you in the past. Why can't you just do this for me? What do you think about that situation? Would you have an issue with bringing food to a man? Not necessarily dependent on time. Would you have a problem, bringing food in that situation, or bringing anything in that situation?
No, not, especially not at the $20 price point. But I was like, maybe. Mm-hmm. At first I was like, she just don't like him. I don't know. That was a weird thing to say that put me in my masculine energy.
Is that probably some like, well, that's what men are supposed to do? Is that what that is? Men are supposed to pay for food, so, why am I bringing you food?
I guess maybe that's how she thinks, but I feel like bringing food is a very like nurturing, like feminine thing to do. I mean, if I cook for you,
right,
I paid for the groceries. So like, what's the difference? If you're telling me you're hungry, I feel like, to me, that's not masculine energy to be like, oh, I'm going to get you some food. I feel like you could tell men sometimes, you be like, I'm hungry. And they show up with nothing. You be like, I said I was hungry. You be like, oh, you ain't asked for nothing? But I feel like women would be like, oh, he said he was hungry.
I'm going to bring him a whole bunch of shit to
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was
But I was
strange.
like, maybe she just didn't have the money. And she didn't want to admit that she didn't have $20 extra.
But you don't think... Okay.
Or she didn't like him.
So I just think that she just ain't like dude like that, because who even says that? There's never been a time where if somebody said, hey, could you pick me up something, and I didn't pick it up. If I didn't have the money, I'd be like, I ain't got the money right now. Why don't you... I guess I don't think we had cash apps or none of that at the time, but if you hit me back, like I ain't got no problem getting it. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's really weird that's how people operate in this day and time. Ultimately, I just think she wasn't feeling dude like that, and she was kind of just using my man as a placeholder until she found something that she actually liked. I don't know. I think we probably have to follow that up and find somebody who's younger and who's dealing with this current dating environment.
I feel like she didn't have the money, because why would you even go all the way over there? Like, even if you're a placeholder, that's inconvenient to me to have to come to your house.
But when you go over to a motherfucker's house, isn't that what y'all do, y'all? And I mean all of us, back in the day, like eat, drink, watch movies, do whatever it is that, you do. You don't want no food?
Like, especially during like mealtime.
You said mealtime. Supper.
But if I'm going to be over your house 6, 7, 8 o'clock, some dinner has to happen.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to go back home and eat and then come back, or...
Yeah, I think that's an easy one. I just think she really just wasn't in the dude, and then my man was just trying to, spark some conversation amongst some of these, like I said, some of these younger folks who talk about that red pill energy, like you brought up, where they say that, a lot of today's modern women act like dudes, and she didn't necessarily want to be put into that category of, I guess how she wants to present it of being a provider, because that's something that dude is supposed to do. When I'm just asking you to bring me a 6-pack of tacos, like, chill out.
The more I think about it, she didn't have the money. Because if you're talking about like traditional masculine and feminine, traditionally, who goes to who? The man goes to the woman. The man goes and picks her up for the date. So she's going over to his house. Like, that's not putting you in your masculine energy. You know what I'm saying?
But maybe he has a backpack.
No, he doesn't have a backpack because he has a house.
He has a teepee.
You think about like back in the day, the guy, he went and he picked up the lady and took her out or whatever.
So just the fact that she's riding over there.
Like, I'm coming to see you.
That should be considered masculine energy, huh?
I would think so.
That's an interesting point.
If you're making it that deep, like, you should be calling on me, not me calling on you. She ain't had the money.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. This one is called It's Not My Duty. So, found a post on Facebook. It is a Facebook exchange between two individuals, one man, one woman, and it sounds as if they are in some sort of relationship. And the exchange goes like this. The dude says,
You good?
the lady says,
Yeah, you?
Just got off. You don't need nothing before I go in?
she says,
Diapers. I don't get off until late, and he's almost out.
Dude says,
So you want me to get your son some diapers?
question mark. And she says,
Yeah, you asked me what I needed.
he says,
Look, no funny shit, but that's for his daddy to do. I meant something like, maybe something to sip on when you get off.
and she says,
Then why the fuck did you ask me what I needed? Dang, so you'll bring me alcohol, but not diapers? That's crazy.
and then he said,
No, you taking it the wrong way. I'm just saying that's not my responsibility. His daddy's supposed to do that.
and she says,
First of all, my son doesn't have a father, and you knowing that is making your response way worse. You hit me up asking if I needed something. I didn't hit you up asking for something I needed.
he said,
You right, my bad.
she said,
Okay, well, have a great night, honey.
and he said,
What you about to do?
she said,
Well, I'm finna go get my son some diapers. Take care.
he said,
But I can pull up later. I want to see you.
she said,
Nah. What you can do is you can pull my number out your phone. You were this close to getting some cooch.
and he said,
What you mean?
she said,
Don't worry about it. I'm cool on you. This ain't gonna work out.
he said,
Don't do this. I can go get the diapers.
she said,
Nah, I'm good.
and then it follows up with several exchanges of him begging. So with that said, bang, this lady has a kid, and which is not, uncommon these days. Everybody has a damn child these days. Was he wrong for saying, that's not my job to go get your child these diapers?
He's not wrong that it's not his job to get the baby diapers.
Yeah.
It sounds like they were in the very beginnings of whatever
Well, I mean,
they
yeah.
were doing.
I mean, it sounds like they've seen each other several times already.
Right.
Okay,
But
but like you said, they're in the early stages of a relationship. Okay,
Like maybe not even like boyfriend and girlfriend yet.
okay,
Maybe not exclusive.
I'll go for
yet.
that.
So maybe he just felt like, whoa, like you asking me to get diapers. That's
It's daddy duty,
we're not there yet.
right? So when do you get there? Because as we discussed earlier, clearly when you're in a relationship with somebody, I'm not saying that these individuals have to get married, but the relationship is supposed to progress, right? So if he says, this is not my duty to go get these diapers, and that's supposed to be for, the father figure, but he is with her, does that give her an open invitation to be like, okay, well, who are you in my relationship then? Because he's clearly the dude at this moment in that relationship.
But that doesn't mean she's not wrong either.
Right.
Like I feel unless he's just a total jerk, like he hasn't maybe met the kid or have like any connection with the kid. Because I feel like maybe because I just like babies. But like once you meet,
But is that necessary?
it's not necessary. But I think it might
gotta
feel.
meet your kid to bring you some damn diapers?
It doesn't. But I think it just might feel weird if you're asking me to do stuff for somebody who I don't know or have a connection with.
Why do I gotta have a connection to bring diapers? She needs diapers.
Right,
She
right.
needs the diapers for the kid.
I'm just saying potentially how he could have been like,
No.
I don't even know this kid.
I mean, you just know the deal. I mean, come on. You know the deal. Motherfuckers just be like, I don't want to take care of another man's baby. Get it. Absolutely understandable, under many circumstances. But you're willing to bring her debauchery juice, but you're not going to bring her something that she actually needs. Because this is real life, right?
I was trying to think about if I ever, like I had dated guys with kids, but none of them live with them because they never do.
Deadbeats.
But then I started thinking,
Yeah.
and the one who did, that was my biggest L.
Oh.
I forgot about that story.
Oh, yeah.
But I really enjoyed his son. But, because I'm trying to think, like, if he had been like, hey, can you pick up anything for,
I think women are a little bit more
Him.
nurturing when it
I'd
comes to
been like-
stuff like that, though.
yeah, because
I don't think there's too many women that would be like, that's mama business. Like, I'm not doing that. Most women would be like, I'll scoop that for you. Dudes is the exact opposite. Like I was saying, sometimes real life happens. The situation seemed like she wasn't gonna be able to make it to wherever it is. And she was like, hey man, can you just scoop these? I'll hit you back. So you willing to go to the liquor store and buy me this this bottle that probably costs the same amount of these damn diapers. Like, I don't need no liquor right now.
I also feels like one of those things, like when you be like, oh, how you been? Mm-hmm. You're supposed to say, good, and you just keep walking.
Well,
but when
say it, though.
Sometimes people will be like, oh man, let me tell you. And you're like,
don't ask then.
I didn't
you know what I'm saying?
Really mean for you to like,
right.
Tell me how you feel. Like, this was just a pleasantry. So he was probably like, gonna go get something for himself. Or he was like, you need anything?
Yeah.
He thinks she's gonna say no, but she didn't.
Yeah.
Which she's not wrong. She was like, actually,
I need some real life stuff right now. And he was like, no, I'm talking about, bringing you something to drink for later on.
So he shouldn't have offered if he didn't want to bring her what she needed.
I mean, but that clearly defined where the relationship was at that point. Like you said, I mean, I don't think either one of them was wrong. I think they were both right and wrong. But then I think that's where she kind of drew the line, and she was like, okay, well, you right. You not the dude that's going to do that, and that's a daddy's responsibility. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut you off, and I'm going to find somebody who's, who fits that role a little bit better.
Did you ever date anybody with kids?
Yes, but the kid was old enough. He had no diaper runs.
But if like on the third date, she had been like, can you get him some?
I probably would have did it just because I just understand that sometimes people need shit. I don't think that I would let something like that stand in the way of a potentially good relationship. Like, this is something that turns ugly, later on, where they're constantly asking me for something, every time, it's time to link up or whatever. Hey, could you go pick up more juice for my kid? Can you go do, A, B, and C, in the beginning of a relationship? Then, that might be a problem. But at the same time, you kind of look at it as once a relationship starts progressing, like, that's probably going to happen anyway, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it should happen like right out of the gate, but eventually that's what's going to happen if you trying to be with this individual, all the time. I understand that people got life issues, and if they said, I need, some diapers or, whatever, I'm not going to buy you that big ass box because diapers are expensive. But I may, get you something, get you through the week, just, some small joints. But I've definitely been a jerk. I told you how, kind of left that bride right before her birthday. But nah, never been a jerk when it came to somebody who has a child, because they got more things that they got to deal with. So Katt Williams has been wilding out in 2024. That was one of the things that I wouldn't have expected on my bingo card for this year, that my man dropped. This is like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that of my man just spazzing out on everybody from, Steve Harvey to Ludacris being in the Illuminati, and start talking about their wives. He talked about Faison Love being what do you call him? A fat lying bastard. He talked about one Steve Harvey.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit.
All right, so after listening to that, the part that I was blown about was the fact that he talked about Steve Harvey in that wig. And we talked about this before, and I was like, where is the timeline where Steve Harvey went bald? Like, when did it happen? It was like one day he had the crisp lineup, and then the next day he was just bald. Do you ever remember a point where Steve Harvey
No, he was never losing his hair.
Where he was balding? Did you ever watch Hang with Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Did you ever watch the Steve Harvey Show?
Yes.
Which was your favorite of the two? I don't even know what you're going to say.
We already talked about it. I did like the Steve Harvey Show.
Because?
Of Merlin Santana.
Boo. You was watching for the wrong reasons. You was watching because you thought...
I was a teenage girl.
Because you thought that man was fine. Anyway.
But I did like Cooper.
So like Mark Curry's starting to make a resurgence. You're starting to see my man all over the place now. So that's good. A lot of good things have happened, because of this interview. My man is he's all over the place, man. I think he's done 2 more interviews since the interview that he did with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay. But he's wilding. Anyway, I got one more thing to play before we close out the show. Our kids are always telling us the worst jokes on the planet. They telling us the worst jokes, and I found this.
Really, it's just Olive.
But I will say that she is getting good at coming up with her own jokes.
Yeah, she's working it out, but it's a work in progress.
They're terrible, but she's actually, she's like a seasoned comic. She's starting to, work her way through the jokes.
Yeah.
So I found there's a dude named Rel the Remedy, and he's kind of known for like his terrible dad jokes or whatever, but he started bringing his son into it, and his son, told the joke, and here we go.
Dad, Sunday was a sad day, but the day before that was a Saturday.
There you go. Dad jokes. Saturday.
That was a good one.
Thank y'all folks for tuning in for the first episode of the year. We'll probably give you 3 more for the rest of the year. We'll give you 1 each quarter, to close out the year. And we'll be good to go. No, we're going to do better. I promise. I know I say that every year. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Good Old Drinking Partners. TikTok that's an L. That's an L like all the relationships that I've had. TikTok is trash. It's just too much work to try to keep up with that whack algorithm, but we're still there. I'll continue to, come up, with some dope stuff to put on TikTok. Same at Drinking Partners. And
you can tell about the Gunline Boss.
Yeah, we actually got a store, man. We got a store. We sell t-shirts, just regular ass t-shirts, nothing special. But you can find that on tpublic.com and just search for our store, The Drink Bodega, and you can find, Good Old Drinking Partners merchandise, man. It's pretty dope. We'll see ya next episode. Until next time.
We out.
Is that your tongue?
Right.
Thanks for tuning in to Love, Life and Liquor. Make sure to like, subscribe and follow on all platforms. And be sure to tell the mandem about us.